Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ & Sons and our College Football 26 Dynasty series here as we are going to head into our first ever off-season coming off a national championship victory. Now, we do have some coach points, and in reality I think this is more or less because of a glitch that was in the game. You know, we did the whole pre-order thing, and yeah, I kept my pre-order bonuses. I paid for them, I kept them. But I think to get it for the second season, I think that was a small little glitch or something. I don't think that was supposed to happen, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I don't think I am. But either way, we're going to take advantage of it, right? So I wanted to go with, I started out with Tactician and getting some points built up there, along with Recruiter. One, I like Recruiter. It's what I go with. But then I also wanted Tactician as well, because I know with Motivator, I've seen pretty much everybody does Motivator now. So if you see a channel doing college football, it's pretty much Motivator is what they go with. But we went with Tactician, so I started adding the points there to really get the performance out of the players a little bit better than having to rely on, bonuses, XP, all that type of stuff. So we added points to Tactician, some more to Recruiting because we're going to need them for the transfer portal, because look at how many players we have leaving. All right, these are all players leaving early. I mean, the most disappointing one obviously is Arch, but I can understand after the season he had. Now, Cliff Honeywell was our backup quarterback. He's leaving because of playing time. He was going to take over the starting quarterback role. So he's about to be given the keys to the kingdom, but he decided to leave, and we couldn't convince him to stay. Khalil Lockett, wide receiver, we do convince him to stay, so that's a positive thing at least. He didn't see really any playing time this last year, but hey. And Mosley's leaving. For play style. He was incredibly successful. He's leaving for play style. You kidding me? Jarrett Gibson, he's out. I mean, it's one of those, who else could leave here? Jack Injuries are tight end. He's gone. The people that had none as a persuasion chance didn't even bother with him. Colin Simmons is leaving for play style. He had a great season. I don't know what we're supposed to do in that sense. How do you keep a player who practically an All-American? How do you keep him there for play style? I mean, really. So I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do in this sense. I kept the people we could that we really tried. Only one player is a high chance of staying, and I mean, luckily we were able to pull off Khalil Lockett. But look, everybody else, low, very low, very low, very low. I got one chance left. Go for Jabron Baldwin, playing time. Or Mason Kelsey, another quarterback, for God's sake. Like, how many quarterbacks do we have to lose? Yeah, I mean, I'll give it playing time. He ain't going to see the field in all reality. From Bridgeville, Delaware. No offense, dude, but, I mean, actually, at this point, Honeywell is out, so Kelsey would probably stay, and we try to convince him to, but no, he's gone. Mason Kelsey, out of here. So we got two players to stick around, so I guess that's positive, Nobody else, though. Everybody else bailed. You have an undefeated season, championship, and players are leaving for playing time. They do realize they get a ring, too, right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about the fact. All right. So they're all gone, right? So let's hit the transfer portal, see what we can do. Now, DJ Lagway is available. Kind of a shocker there, but, hey, he's from Willis, Texas. Maybe we can get him. So we do go ahead and try to take a look at him. Damon Walters, free safety. I know Taff is going to be leaving pretty soon. He does stick around for the senior year, or this was his senior year. So Taff is out, so I need a replacement for him as well. Now, running back, we don't really need too much, but I do like to have a good stable of running backs. I mean, it's hard to argue against that, right? So we are going to check out some running backs. Now, looking at some of the blockers we need for them, we do need offensive linemen. Not that many. We've got a pretty good setup for, but hey, I like depth. So we do add a couple of them. And then wide receiver, I want to add in, I don't want to say as many as possible, but I do want to add in some receivers just to keep weapons available. Now, another quarterback, Jaden Mayava, was available, but didn't really look at him too much. we're going to try. I mean, you got to see what you can do with some of these quarterbacks. Some of these guys are so highly rated that you have to try anyways. Cam Cook, running back, 4-star, coming from Jacksonville State University. So we do add him. I mean, and some of these guys, I do want to look at their previous team. So not just their stats, right? But also the previous team that they were on beforehand. And see what kind of competition did they play, really. And I think it's something you have to actually look at and kind of keep in mind. Now, knowing safety is a troubled spot for us. It's a troubled spot as far as roster positions. I want to try to get somebody in there. Widette Williams, taking a look at him, transfer junior. He's definitely got potential. And it's between him or Devon Patterson. Patterson is a sophomore, and we're in the top 3. Plus, we have the brand exposure deal breaker. So we got some room there for him. And I think that's worth taking a look at, and hopefully we can try to snag him. When it comes to free safeties, Damon Walters, obviously we're number 2. Robert Fitzgerald. We're in these guys' top 5, so that's what we are going to try to follow up on. Let's take a look at their top 5. Now, we have 1,500 hours, or points, hours, whatever you want to call it. We have 1,500 of them. So it's one of these things. I think we can pretty much go all in on these guys as fast as possible. Now, what is kind of shocking is, I get everybody don't want to come play for your school, right? Like that, I understand. But if you are a starter and you're looking to go to another school, and I get the quarterback left and all that, but right now Texas has been in a point of transition from Ellinger to Ewers to Arch. And it's one of those, who wants to pick up the next set? Ooh, L.J. Martin, 4-star. We saw him in the playoffs there. So we are going to take a look at Martin. I believe he was with BYU. He was actually pretty much their main weapon against us. And now this is funny. Connor Weigman. I do need a quarterback. Connor Weigman is available. For those who don't know, he did at one time play for A&M, and I think last year in real life ended up getting replaced partway through the season. I think again in the LSU game, he got replaced by King. But I would say if we can pick up Weigman and be successful with him, hell yeah, let's do it. And it's not going to interfere with DJ Lagway's recruiting at all for him. I do like to see what their attributes are. Lagway, 98 throw power. Goodness gracious for a sophomore. Obviously, go all in. That's what we're doing. A lot of the guys I don't have to scout. But like I said, I got 1,500 points, so why not? Try not try. Free safety, Damon Walters, 90 speed, 79 zone coverage is a little wonky, but 88 agility and 86 change of direction is pretty decent for a safety, so I'm fine with that. Left tackle, Jordan Seaton, pass protector out of Washington, D.C. 83 run block, 80 run block power, 89 pass. Look at those block, 97 pass block finesse, 87 awareness. If we could somehow land this kid, he is a cornerstone lineman, for God's sakes, and he's just a sophomore right now. You're talking 2 more years with him in that left tackle spot. Anthony Smith, edge rusher, 92 strength. 80 acceleration, but 87 block shedding. I do like to see that. One of the downsides, you would think, since these kids have already been on a team, that we wouldn't have to go through waiting for all their check marks. But it's just one of those things I guess we do have to deal with. So now, Mazeo Bennett Jr., 94 acceleration, 87 catching. Here's what's amazing. All these guys are pretty much, okay, so maybe not top-tier talent based off those things. But blank on the check marks. Yeah, we should have that. These are kids entering the transfer portal. This is something we should already know about them. It shouldn't take. I would say at minimum they need to make it to where if you do the scouting, all those become available to you, because that's really what it would take. Transfer portal is a very fast time, very fast pace. You don't have time to sit there woo and trying to wait for them and say, oh, come on, it'd be great. Let's spend the next 4 weeks chatting with each other. No, you got to get a hold of them and go for it. You know what I mean? And then the easiest way to do that would be if you had all the check marks available. But we don't, so we got to go through offer scholarships in the house. Cam Cook, a kid out of Round Rock, Texas, I have a feeling he'd want to play for a national champion, Texas Longhorns. Carter Stoutmeyer out of Plano. There's a possibility that he would definitely want to play, but, interesting. 88 speed for a free safety, 83 zone coverage, 67 catching. Now, that kid can be a turnover machine. You put him in the right situation, woo, talk about going the other way with it. Devon Patterson, strong safety, 85 speed, 84 awareness, 78 catching, 77 tackle. Man coverage, I'm not a fan of, but zone coverage at 82. So the way we play defense, he would be in zone a lot. That's where that kid excels at. I think we could turn that kid loose, and he'd possibly become an All-American type of athlete. I really do think that. Now, 635 hours left. Got about 5 people. I wanted to check Connor Weigman out. Throw power, 93. Medium accuracy, 88. Short accuracy, 87. Kind of weird. Deep accuracy is 80. The kid's got talent. I think he was a 5-star athlete coming out of high school. Obviously, I think he was. I think he started out in Miami, then went to A&M. And then, stint at A&M didn't work out so well. But I think we can be successful with him. That's what we're going to try to do. Make this thing happen, Now, another free safety, Robert Fitzgerald, box specialist. The kid's got ability. I don't know if he has as much as Stoutmeyer, but he's definitely kind of a game breaker in a sense. Isaac Brown, running back, 95 speed, 96 change of direction. We've got a healthy stable of backs, but my God, can you imagine if you added him into it? Him, C.J. Baxter, I think Quintravion Weiser may stick around, or did he graduate? I don't know. We'll have to see. I think he left. But C.J. Baxter in the backfield with him, oh, goodness gracious, that'd be dang near unstoppable. Teague Anderson as a right tackle, 91 pass block finesse. That's what I'm talking about right there. He's a 4-star, but he has basically, I think, 5-star ratings. Now, L.J. Martin, the running back, who put up some good yards against us, 89 speed, 84 carrying, 85 break tackle. That's what's impressive. Maybe not the speed. Change of directions, 83. But break tackle being 85, that's where he's going to make his bones. Is being able to break tackles behind the offensive line that we can provide them. That's really what it comes down to. Now, we have 34 or 35 recruits. Like I said, almost everybody else we've already got signed. These are just guys who are coming in to us from the transfer portal. So I do need to add one more. I have 150 hours. Why the hell wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Andrew Sprague, another right tackle, pass protector out of Kansas City. Playing style is his deal breaker. We are at A+ on that. Now let's see what his pass block power, 85, finesse 86. Not greatest on run blocking, but pass blocking overall is a 90. We do throw the ball a lot. Any one of these tackles, if we could get any one of them, then I think we'll be freaking golden at that point. So checking real quick what happened in the draft before we kind of continue with our transfer portals. Manning, Anthony Hill going round 1. Malik Muhammad, Wisner did leave. Muhammad goes in round 2. Wisner round 3, and so forth. So a lot of success. How do we go? Third place. Who in the hell is in front for Lagway? I think it's Alabama, Ohio State, and then us. Once again, why? We are the program, my dude. We are. And here's what's funny. So it does progress real fast with as far as movement and interest level. But if you notice, we only have 2 check marks. How? I can't really wait another week before I put a hard sell on. And I don't really want to go with sway in that sense. We could, but I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to keep with, for some of these guys, I'm going to go ahead and keep with the send the house and just get the visit scheduled because we have the hours to fit, I think, pretty much everybody's visit in. Some of them maybe I will try. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Jordan Seaton, we didn't get one piece of information about him. I mean, essentially, we didn't. Yeah, we know what 2 of his things are, and I know what his deal breaker, or 3 of his things are not. I know what his deal breaker is, but that's it. That's ridiculous. At a top-of-the-line program, especially for an offensive coordinator who is a scouting or is a recruitment specialized coordinator, we should know that crap already. And it shouldn't be, wait 3 weeks on a transfer portal guy to be able to get enough information about him to know. So it's a little annoying, not going to lie. But we'll deal with it. We will deal with it. Dallas Wilson, the speedster out of Florida. Going to go ahead and get his visit scheduled. Cam Cook from Round Rock. We have to, and they only allow 4 visits per week. That's what still... Oh, my God. I think that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but we should be able to have like 6, 7, 8 guys visiting in a single week. This limiting to 4 is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's just my own personal thought, but hey, let me know what y'all think in the comments because it does limit us. As Devon Patterson, we get his visit scheduled for, week 4? Yeah, because we ran out of weeks 2 and 3 since we've already gone through 1. Connor Weigman, we are first up on his board, which is actually a pretty decent advancement in reality. And so looking at only 1 check mark. I mean, the kid's from Cypress, Texas. We should know this from before, but hey, whatever. We get his visit scheduled, and hopefully it's enough to bring him in. That's all I can hope for. Andrew Sprague, we moved all the way up to the number 1 spot, so you know what? You get enough respect to have a visit scheduled since we're coming down to our bottom, portion of it. I don't want to run out of players. L.J. Martin, Isaac Brown. Ooh, that's a tough call. Although Isaac Brown we dropped down to 4th. So it kind of becomes, why the hell would I schedule him? I really don't know. I really don't know that. So Teague Anderson, right tackle, we're going to get him a visit scheduled. Hopefully that'll be enough. And if we can get one of these guys flipped, then great. So that will open up something maybe for LJ to come visit. But we're going to have to see on that. And really, we're all the way through our recruits. I have 475 hours at that point. Couldn't do nothing else with it. And you'll notice we still haven't signed anybody. Like, absolutely ridiculous. We've lost a player. Stoutmeyer went to LSU, so that's cool. Isaac Brown, we've dropped down to 5th. Okay, he's from Florida, but why the hell would he go to Alabama? We just won the Natty. Alabama sucks right now. We're the top program, but I guess he doesn't want to be a champion. That's all I can figure. So we did knock one guy out, which actually opened up a visit for old LJ here. So we're going to bring in him for a visit. Let's see how things go. And, I mean, it's kind of getting depressing. We're in the 3rd week of transfer portal recruiting, and we don't have anybody. And that's the harsh part. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the hard sell up on some of these people just for the simple fact that it doesn't seem like we're picking up any pace on them, but we really got to seal the deal now. So I can take what their deal breaker is, plus what I know about them, find the one that matches for those, and then you kind of go with that as far as your hard sell, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. Like Weigman, all we have are coach prestige and conference prestige. So the combos that have that, if they have an X-Bite, we'll choose a different one. For every single one, every 3-check combination, there is one that will work. So you just got to find out which one that is, like we did for Weigman on that one for the hard sell. Lagway, I want to, if I could, in all reality, if I can land both of them, all I got to do is say hell yeah to that. But we're in 3rd. In all reality, I don't see us gaining any. Especially with all we know about it is brand exposure. Conference prestige, coach prestige. And see, the problem with that coach prestige, I probably should have changed. Cause I don't know if it does it off my coach or if it does it off of our head coach. Because if it does, well, we just change head coaches. And that's an idiotic thing for myself to do. But we'll kind of see. Now, Damon Walters, we're in 2nd behind Illinois, for God's sakes. The Fighting Illini. So we're going to put a hard sell on. I mean, maybe this is obviously going to be the last week in reality to try to get some of these guys. I mean, this is, okay, so it's not the last week. It's the third week. Let's be real. But we pretty much only have this last chance for the most part. Now, Seaton, we're still fourth in his top 5. We know only one check mark, proximity to home, and that's a damn D. That is a D like none other, so that's going to be kind of tough to do. Mazeo Bennett, we are number 1 fighting against Tennessee on this. And it's in the house. It gives us 4 check marks. I've heard on the thing it doesn't matter what the influence marks mean. And if it doesn't, well, then what's the point of having them, is what I would say. Which, okay, in all reality, I wouldn't put past EA, let's be honest. But what's the point of having them? And we dropped to number 2 for Dallas Wilson. Oh, he's from Tampa, Florida. That's why. Okay. This kid's got no allegiance, I guess you could say, to his home state. So why would I expect him to have any allegiance to our program when we were number 1 in his book for a little bit? But not anymore. So is the way of recruiting. So I'm going to try a different combination because I really want to believe the influence means something, right? So out of 50 points, I can go with a soft sell at 20. I can hit up friends and family for 25 and then do the social media search for the 5. Now that gives us like 8 upticks. 7, 8 little green arrows, influence arrows. So maybe that'll work for us. I don't know. Now, Cam Cook does not like that we have another running back on the board, but I'm going to assume he's not afraid of competition, which, I'm not going to lie, in today's transfer portal, it kind of seems like some kids are. Oh, I didn't get to play enough. I'm out. Well, okay. I mean, I guess if you don't want to have to earn it. If you leave for NIL deal, more power to you. Go make your money and make it fast because football definitely does not last forever. But if you're leaving because, I'm not getting too much playing time. I'm only saying this as a guy who used to coach Little League baseball, so don't question my coaching prowess, okay? If that's how you got to go for it, I mean, come on. And I'm talking about even guys like Ewers, okay? We couldn't get over the hump with Ewers. You think that was because he didn't have the ability or the team wasn't good enough? No, we were definitely good enough. In fact, I would say we were better last year and more equipped. We were more evenly matched with Ohio State than I think we were against Washington when they beat us a couple years ago. And I'll say the only reason for that is that Penix kid was dang good because I haven't seen him do much in the NFL because he was only there for last season and he played behind Kirk Cousins for quite a while. But man, that kid could throw. I got to see him play in the Alamo Bowl the year before that against Texas, where he just picked us apart. Now, somehow we stayed in these games. I don't know how we actually did. I don't think we had any business staying in those games against Washington. But even I was like, whoa, that kid is damn good. It was interesting how those turned out. But I definitely think maybe a kid who left because he didn't get his chance, didn't win the competition for the number 1 spot, left that school to go to another one. Maybe there's a reason why we couldn't get over that hump. Just maybe. I'm throwing it out there as a massive Longhorn fan, just throwing it out. LJ Martin, the BYU guy who beat us up, even though we still won the game. I just want to state that. We still won the game. He did beat us up in that one for some good yardage. So we do put the hard sell on him, and I'm hoping, that can convince him to come in. He's only in the top 5. Weigman, top 3. So if we can get a lot of these guys that are in their top 3, I think that's just going to bode that much better for us. But as you can see, Wilson, Cook, we're starting to drop in some of these areas with some of these players. So finally, LJ Martin out of El Paso, formerly of BYU, does commit. Connor Weigman from Cyprus commits over. And that was really pretty much all we got for the most part. Everybody else, gone. You see, Lagway went to Ohio State. Seaton just straight up locked us out. Walters didn't even, I guess, commit. Or really hasn't. This is technically the 4th week right now. We are in a recruiting battle. There's not much else I can do. I don't know what we're supposed to do in this situation. I have the maximum influence that I can provide with the points that we have available. So, it's kind of one of those, it is what it is, but we'll see how things happen. Anthony Smith, we got us into the top 3, but we have dropped down to the 2nd rank. And that's just funny. Hard sell only gives us 4. I would think in a situation like this, once you hit hard sell up, you should basically get a lot more than 4 influence. In all reality, I just think you should. So trying to find so you take what his deal breaker is, and that's, like I said, if you don't have all the check marks, take the deal breaker, and that's how you do the hard sell or soft sell even, and probably the sway option as well. That'll help you kind of get that stuff figured out for you. Dallas Wilson. We're still 2nd, but I don't think it's that far behind 2nd with this last week. Let's hit the hard sell up, and maybe we can convince him. There's no guarantee at this stage. I mean, he's so close to the bitter end of choosing. With us still being in 2nd, I don't know if we'll be able to flip him. Now, Cam Cook, we're right back at number 1 on his. I don't know what to do with that information, to be honest with you. Patterson, we're number 1. Fitzgerald, we've dropped to 2nd. But I haven't scheduled him for a visit, and I can't because they only limit us to 4 people per week, which is, like I said, annoying. So Fitzgerald, I'm not going to get him scheduled for a visit. I went the different route. Now, if you look, I only know 1 of his damn marks. All right, I only know 1, but we're going to do our best with the hard sell to try to pinpoint what we can do, because there's only so many combinations that you can use. There's only so many of these little boxes that you can click on where we don't have an X already. So we know what not to do for this kid, right? We know what not to do for him. The only one that makes sense for him is the gym rat plus social media or DM player. And I mean, it's one of those, you do the best you can in a moment like that. Now him we know, for Teague Anderson, we know 2 of them once again. But look at his hard sell. His hard sell I think is like 5 or 6 influence arrows. And so you take a look at all the combos that have the 2 check marks. You got that plus brand championship contender. And that's a hard one, is we don't know what that last one is, because there are a couple that go that way. So we make the best pick that I think that we really can. I mean, that's really what it amounts to. And that's all you can do. Make the best pick that you know how. So let's see who comes in. Dallas Wilson. He does commit. All right. Welcome to the team. Devon Patterson. He's going to commit over. Robert Fitzgerald. He's also a Longhorn. So you put the points in, put the hard sells in. Teague Anderson out of Utah. That's what we're talking about. Andrew Sprague also. And I think a lot of that has to do with the timing of the hard sells and so forth. But, it's kind of one of those things I can't verify for a fact. But we do have the number 1 recruiting class in the country. 8 5-stars, 17 4-stars, and 2 3-stars. That's who we got. So that's going to take us into the next season. Now, part of that is we're going to look at the conferences. I hate that they took away divisions in a lot of these conferences, right? So Big 10 with the leaders and the legends, Big 12 North South, SEC East West. So I'm going to go ahead and install those back in. Now I do make it 9 conference games because each team has about 9 teams in each side, right? So that gives you your 8 division games plus 1 for a non-division opponent. No, there's only 8 teams, so that gives you 7 plus 2. Oh, well, okay, that actually works out even better. 7 plus 2. So I do really want to try to keep rivalries available. So that's why you are seeing like Alabama, Auburn on the west side, LSU, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Alabama A&M, Texas. This will create rivalry. That's why I love it so much. And the fact that we have the capability to do that, I think we really should take advantage of. So let's go take a look at our schedule as it stands right now. So obviously conference play is going to be tough, right? But I think there's something missing here. And we start out against Texas State, then we play against Ohio State at home, which that's fine, I understand. But there's something I want to do, which every SEC schedule, with the exception, I think, Texas last year, but every SEC schedule does this, is near the end of the season, for the last couple weeks, they put a team that they're supposed to just completely roll over. They put one of the powder puff teams right at the end of the season. And so, like, I could go with Ball State right before A&M. That would be like, whoo, here we go. We're geared up. Let's get rolling kind of situation. But I'm not going to lie. Even I feel kind of bad about that with Ball State. They were 7-6 the year before. Man, I don't know. That's pretty rough. Why would I want to do that to them? I don't know. I think we're gonna have to change that. Now so this says Texas Memorial Stadium for Texas, Oklahoma, right? So I regenerate the schedule because I'm like, hold the phone. That can't be how it is. Now in reality, it says it's at Texas Memorial Stadium. However, the game is actually still at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. That's a scheduled thing. It just shows it because it's the home team. So just don't freak out about that, because trust me, I did. I was nervous all the way through this season that the Texas OU game would be played at a home and home kind of situation instead of at the State Fair at the Cotton Bowl. But rest assured, it will be the Cotton Bowl. So I squeeze in San Jose State. One, because this last year they gave us fits. It felt like, well, that wasn't actually them. Never mind. But they do give us fits at times. And they've become a team, San Jose State, that has been known to stress some teams out. So they're not one that's going to make us go to sleep, but they're one that I think we can handle business, get up some good kind of good emotions, good feelings going in to the A&M game. Make us feel good about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we are going to go with. Now let's take a look at recruiting for this next season. Max Stokely, an athlete. And really, one of the first things I do is I look at the ratings. Let's go by ratings. So let's get it organized that way. Best to worst. Now take a look at the interest next to these players. Do I really want to put somebody on here who has us not even in their top 10? Not really. I think I could probably fight for some of those guys and actually get them. But why would I want to do that when I could just say, all right, let's go ahead and get players that want to be here with us. Let's get players that want to come in. And then we'll kind of deal with it from there. Nelson Ostergaard, 4-star quarterback. We are going to have to start building our quarterback room again. Weigman, I believe, is a senior this year coming in. So, you're talking 1 year left with him. So we're going to need people to take over. Javier Yates, 5-star quarterback, first on the list. Let's go and check out his 86 throw power. That's kind of not the greatest, but he is very maneuverable. He's got 80 acceleration, so he's got definite capability to make things happen with a scramble outside of the pocket. Plus, the way we run a lot of the option routes, RPOs, we could get him on the move, and I think we can really make something out of it. Floyd Arma, 87 speed, not bad for recruit there. Top one first. And here's what I missed. So last year, in the last seasons, you had the automatic recruits, right? And some of these kids, I would think if you are first on their book, in all reality, you offer them a scholarship going into their senior season, boom, man, they are committing to you at that point. But, it's one of those. Let's kind of see how it shapes out with some of these guys. We do only have 16 recruits. I got 1,250 hours, so we are going to scout every single one of them. And I want to see what they actually can bring to the table so we can really see what direction we want to take this team in based off the talent that we do have, right? So that's kind of what I want to know kind of moving forward. And maybe we can start to put things in now that would also be effective for developing some of these kids as we go along. Manuel Cardoza, 93 acceleration, 83 speed, but 79 carrying. That's not too bad for a freshman at 5-star. I do wish some of the stats were a little bit higher. I really do, but, it is what it is. Chauncey Payne, linebacker, number 2 in his position, 2 in his state, 24 national out of Liburn, Georgia. And he's going to be a gem of a 5-star. Yes, sir, we are offering you a scholarship, good sir. All right, Matt Garvin, 94 speed, 95 acceleration. Look at his, oh my goodness, 78 man coverage, 94 agility, 79 press, running a 4.25. That kid could do some stuff on our defense. I really think he could. Rashad Mount, 5-star. Another gem, 91 speed, 82 zone coverage. Man, can you imagine both of those kids back there in the defensive backfield? That's got some major potential. Max Stokely, an athlete, agile, so he's obviously an offensive lineman. 6'2", 286 out of Florida. 77 run block power, 79 run block finesse. That kid would be dangerous to see on an offensive line, especially when he gets bigger. DeAndre Bradbury, 5-star left tackle, 80 run block. I mean, some of these kids, it's kind of impressive just to see how, what their ratings are being these 5 stars. Not as many gems as I would thought. We've only had 2, which is kind of shocking with some of the stats that we have seen for these players as far as their attributes. But, hey, it's kind of one of those it is what it is situation. Jabu Draft. We're going to offer him a scholarship. Still does not automatically commit, which that sucks. Nick Pinto out of Tomball. 76 run block. That kid's impressive. Still no automatic acceptance. Glenn Meeks, 67 awareness, 74 run block, 81 pass block finesse, 84 run block finesse. As an agile center, I would have expected some of those stats to be a little bit higher for a 4-star recruit, but oh well. Nelson Ostergaard, 86 throw power. This is kind of shocking 4-star. Although he does match up with Yates at the top as far as throw power goes, so we do have that going for us at this point right now. So we have some more hours, and I'm trying to think of how many hours we're going to have when the season starts, because that's really what's going to be the big telltale, right, is how many points are we able to put on when it comes to recruiting. And I don't want to completely overload our system. I want to be able to try to recruit most of these guys fairly heavily once the season does actually kick off and our point totals are limited, or our totals get limited compared to what they are in the off season. So Parker Wiley, good receiver, fast one. Hopefully we can land him. Matt Morris, thumper, which I believe puts him in like a safety round or linebacker realm. 89 speed, 73 strength. Ooh, that kid could do some things. Barry Ingold. Let's see his stats that we've got for 78 man coverage. 69 tackle, I'm not a fan of. It's 92 agility. He's a 5-star, which is kind of shocking. His tackle rating is so low for a defensive back. But, hey, he's still a 5-star athlete. That makes us look better in the end. Plus, it allows us to move on up as far as coaching attributes and all that fun jazz, right? So we fill out our board, and here's where we come in. 1,000 hours. So we have 20 players. Do the math. 20 times 50 is 1,000. We actually hit the damn nail on the head. Now, is it going to stay this way? No, because if you look at guys like Floyd Arma, he's already ready to transfer out. Or not ready to transfer, but he's dropped us down to 3rd. So, all we did was offer him a scholarship, and he just went, ugh, and dropped us. So, same thing with Cardoza there. Manuel Cardoza. Actually, we did not offer him a scholarship. I thought we did. Well, that's my mistake. TCU and Florida State. All right, we've got to offer this kid a scholarship. It's going to mess up our point total thing, but either we offer him or we got to drop him. And he's out. Plain and simple. Make decisions, make them fast, and don't think about them. All right, live with no regrets, or just live with a ton of regrets, but you don't talk about it. You just bury that deep down and all the way down into the cockles of your heart. You know what I mean? Let it come back as a tumor later on. Max Stokely, we've moved up into third since offering him a scholarship. You know what? We're sending the house. DeAndre Bradbury, you've dropped us down to second. We're sending the house. And really, I do think that send the house, regardless of whether it's 4 or like 5 influence marks, I don't think that does. I don't think there's much of a difference with it. That part really matters, right? I just truly believe that, it having different versions. So the meet the friends or contact friends and family and DM the player and stuff. Do that combination versus send the house. I think the stuff I've seen on YouTube is correct. Send the house is still going to generally be the way to do it. So that is going to get us through and ready for week 1 here in Austin, as we are going to take on the Bobcats of Texas State in our stadium. It should be an interesting one, but all that stuff happens in the next season, everybody. So let's get ready for it. Remember to hit that bell icon if you have not hit it already, so you can be notified of all the content we do here at Champ and Sons, whether it is college football dynasty, college football road to glory, soon to become Madden Superstar, and then Madden franchise series we got going on. Bunch of stuff happening at the channel. Hit the bell icon to be notified for all of that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't hit that already. Guys, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. Leave a comment. Let me know things you would have changed, how you kind of would think about proceeding with recruiting. And I'll see y'all in the next episode as we get this season kicked off. So as always, everybody, stay safe. And, well, y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.